ever since I started doing self-improvement, and then later on, even I carried this mistake into my relationship with God. It's actually the mistake I see that the whole foundation of self-improvement is built on. Even all the guys, the biggest YouTubers, the biggest like influencers of self-improvement, all of them not only have made that mistake themselves and have kind of preached it to their audiences, but they have built their entire journeys, their entire self-improvement journeys on top of this mistake. And it's doing the hard work, doing delayed gratification, actually improving yourself just so you can have the instant gratification later. The best example I can give you is about a year after I started my relationship with God, I started cutting weight for sport. I was thinking about doing boxing, so I tried to cut down to meet a certain weight. And it was also like I was kind of fat and I wanted to cut down weight anyway. So it was just a good timing. So I started cutting weight. But what happened was that, of course, my cravings for like desserts and like sweet food and junk food massively increased as soon as I started cutting. And of course, I don't know if this is some ploy by Satan or like if YouTube is just like always listening to what we're doing. But as soon as I don't know if, bro, and not only that, I think my mother is in on this too, bro. As soon as I start cutting or I say, okay, I'm gonna cut for a bit, I need to lose some weight, not only do I get all of the best looking desserts on YouTube recommended to me on my For You page as I like scroll, it's only like new healthy dessert with like 500 grams of sugar, but it's healthy, like come on. And it's like tricking my mind, like, oh yeah, but it's healthy, like just to literally to make me fall away from my diet, eat a bunch of junk food and then get fat again. That's the first thing. The second of all, I swear, I'm telling you, every single time when I start cutting or if I say, okay, I need to lose weight, my mother starts cooking desserts out of nowhere. Now every weekend, oh, there is a pie, there is a cake, there is like some kind of, bro, I don't know how this happens. It's like it's like the YouTube algorithm and like my mother just like make a pact to create my doom, to like mastermind my downfall, bro. So when I was doing that cut, and as I started seeing all those like videos on YouTube, and it was basically like food porn at that point, bro. I was just watching these videos because I knew I couldn't eat it and I was craving it badly. So it was giving me at least some kind of like mental manipulation that like I'm watching someone else make it and eat it, kind of tricking myself into like being there, being a part of eating this dessert. The whole time as I was cutting, I had this mindset that I'm gonna deny myself this pleasure, this is an instant gratification of eating like desserts and junk. But as soon as I get off of the cut, I'm gonna go and enjoy myself. I'm gonna eat as much as I want. I'm gonna take like a day or two and I'm just gonna binge. I'm gonna eat. I don't care. Every single day that passed, even though I was like successfully denying myself, the temptations grew stronger. The desire for that day on which I will binge and maximize my instant gratification, the desire for the day grew stronger and stronger. So eventually it grew so strong that I fell and I binged, then I had to prolong the cut and it was just a big mess. But this is also what I've noticed in what's happening in all of the self-improvement space, where guys come into self-improvement like me because I couldn't get girls, I didn't like myself, I was fat, I was weak, I thought I was ugly. So I went into self-improvement trying to like maximize my like SMV, to improve myself so I can actually attract a woman. Most guys enter into self-improvement, bro, to maximize like some dream of instant gratification they have. Most of the time it's to sleep with as many girls as possible, which I'm not gonna lie, bro. Over the 3 years that I was doing self-improvement, by the end of the third year, I switched into that mentality as well. Like I entered self-improvement seeking a wife, bro. I was seeking like, I was 17, I was thinking about, man, I just want a woman to love. You know, I kind of want to build a family. But after like 3 years of this influence, this is a whole another topic about, I grew up without a father after I was 14. So lacking that kind of concrete male role model, like a masculine guide on how to be a man. Lacking that in those years of adolescence really opened me up to be completely shaped and molded by any kind of online influence, which will happen to me because I found some role models online and I started becoming shaped according to them. So by the end of that third year of my self-improvement journey, I was basically shifted into this mindset of, you know what, screw it, man, I'm gonna go and get as many girls as I possibly can. But that kind of mindset shift didn't last very long at all, because after my first kind of experience with a girl, I didn't even have sex with her, which I'm actually very grateful for. because that whole experience not only solidified in my mind that okay, I really don't want to go and just maximize my lust. Like I actually do want to care about a woman. I want to love her and I want to build a family much rather than going out and getting as many girls as possible, bro. But it also that was like one of the biggest building blocks, or like the biggest like step towards me finding God for those almost 4 years, because I carried this a long way into my relationship with God. This mistake of delaying gratification now, just so later in life I can have instant gratification. That mindset is going to ruin you, because with that mindset you're never going to escape instant gratification. You're never actually going to break away from your addictions. Like for example, if you say, I'm gonna do nofap for 60 days, but in your mind you're not doing nofap to end it forever. Essentially what happens with this mindset is you're not fighting the war, you're just fighting the battle. But the war is your entire life, and every day is a battle. Stop fighting the battles and start fighting the war. It was only after I started following God and I started to realize that the only way I can grow closer with Him is to forever give up these sins, these addictions, to forever give up my addiction to gooning, my addiction to pornography, my addiction to binging junk food, my addiction to playing video games and like running away from my real life, my addiction to escaping my life into movies and TV shows because I like to imagine myself or pretend to be like the main guy in the TV show because I don't actually like my life. The only way I could actually defeat these addictions, break them forever, like for good, for the rest of my life, is to play the war, not the daily battle. And that means to deny yourself these addictions with the mindset of, I'm not abstaining from this addiction for the purpose of doing it later. I'm not denying myself instant gratification now so I can have it later. I'm denying myself the instant gratification now so I lose the desire for it forever. I had the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna go through a period where I'm cutting, so I'm gonna lean down, but as soon as I lose the fat and lose the weight, I'm gonna have much more opportunity and ability to binge and eat junk and eat desserts because I'm gonna have a lot more space to like add fat. That mentality is the problem. The mentality should be on lifelong continuous improvement, not momentary improvement now so later you can have your instant gratification. It's like the biggest contradiction within self-improvement. Don't get me wrong, self-improvement is amazing. It's actually necessary because you have your own free will. You have a complete and absolute power over how you respond to anything and everything in your life. And God, being the only one who has the power to take it away from you, to force you to do something, even He will never do so, leaving you with absolute freedom and the power of responsibility. So this makes self-improvement necessary in your growth with God, because God will not force you to be faithful. He's not going to force you to do the good habits, the good things you need to do to grow in your sanctification, to grow closer to becoming a true example of Christ. So you have the responsibility to make your own choices and to live according to His will. You choose that. When I started to fight the war against the lust with the mindset of, I never want to do this again, I never want to goon again, I never want to watch porn again. It's not just about the mindset, it's like in your mind, your intention for fighting the temptation is extremely important. The intention I bring into fighting a temptation completely shapes how my mind is affected after that battle. If I'm facing a temptation to goon or to like watch pornography, and I have the mindset, the intention of, I'm not gonna do it now, so God will think I'm a good guy, so He's gonna give me a wife so I can have as much sex as I want whenever I want, so I can basically get my instant gratification later, then not only am I more likely to kind of fall to that temptation because my mind is still targeted, it's still fixated on getting this instant gratification. Like my mind still has the goal of the pleasure of instant gratification in mind. So Satan has more leverage to come and make me fall because he says, But why would you wait? You can just get your instant gratification right now, bro. Just open your phone. You can just Google Pornhub. That's not a sin. So then he can, like, you give Satan leverage to, like, slowly lure you into the sin. When I'm facing the same temptation of, like, lust, but this time I have the mindset of, I'm not doing it because I want to protect my purity, for being an example for my children, for being a good leader for my wife, to be able to control myself and lead my family into the kingdom of God. When I have this mindset, when I'm fixated on my sanctification, on my purity, on losing the desire for this sin, when I say I'm denying myself from gooning or from pornography or from sleeping with this girl, because I literally say this in my head, I know that if I succeed in denying this temptation, the next time it's gonna be easier to deny it. I'm gonna grow stronger. I'm going to level up. I'm gonna progress in my sanctification, and next time it's gonna be easier to say no. Because the end goal, the target in my mind, the goal in my mind is to never do it again. Is to never fall to lust again. It's not to delay the instant gratification. It's to eliminate it forever. But that's hard. And I have to admit, that's extremely hard. I'm not gonna pretend here to you, bro, like, actually, I'm so perfect, I'm so good. For me, I just want good things, and my heart is, like, basically pure. Not even close, bro. I actually realized this even early in my relationship with God. I knew that what God is calling me to do, even you, every single person on this world, God is calling us to be saints. Be perfect as your Father is perfect. Be holy as I am holy. God is calling us to be perfect. Like, think about this. Jesus, when he came down, he suffered with us. And knowing that every single man ever that lived was a sinner, and that will live is going to be a sinner, knowing that we never were able to hold up the law, Jesus came down and he made the law even harder. He said, even if you think lustfully in your mind, you've committed adultery. Even if you feel anger towards your brother, you're subject to judgment. He heightened the stakes, bro. He made it even harder to follow the law, knowing that every single man ever was not able to uphold the law. Why did he do it? Because after what he did on that cross, he made the Father and the Holy Spirit available to everyone, everywhere. He reconciled the world to God. And he gave us literally a direct connection with God himself, with the Father Almighty. 24/7 instant connection with God. And with that connection, what Jesus effectively did is he gave us the opportunity, the ability to be freed from our sin entirely, even still in this life, to become saints. This is something that through my own reading of the Bible and through my own, like, walk with God so far, I'm coming to understand. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, I am anointed by God, everything I say is perfect. It's not. I could be talking pure nonsense to you right now, bro. I'm just a guy. I could be manipulated by the enemy. This is what I believe in so far. I believe that it is our duty as Christians to become as close to as we possibly can to the saints that God made us to be. But even still, take everything that I tell you with a grain of salt. Like, don't ever just hear what I say and just, like, blindly follow it. Think about it. If it makes sense to you, apply it in your life, see how it goes. Experiment with it. You don't have to follow everything I say, like, word by word. I'm telling you what happened to me, what helped me, hoping that it'll help you too, bro. In fact, don't blindly follow anyone, okay? Except for God. But don't blindly follow, like, anyone. Because even with the people who have the best of intentions for you, who genuinely have the purest intentions for you, they might not even know that they might be leading you into evil, into something that's bad for you. I could be doing that to you, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you and say, you should listen to me, bro. God chose me. I'm the chosen one. like, no. So basically, bro, don't fight the battle of everyday's temptation. Fight the war. The war is your entire life. The war is killing the desire for evil, killing the desire for sin. The war is switching your mind, your mentality into the pursuit of sanctification, of virtue, and giving up instant gratification forever. Not for the purpose of the ultimate suffering, or because you're not because like, oh, I'm such a good person, I'm gonna give up, like, look at me, I'm so righteous. Not at all. But being willing to give it up for two reasons. Number one, because ultimately that's what's truly going to fulfill you in life. What's going to actually make you happy, give you the genuine feelings of achievement, fulfillment, and true joy. And number two, because in the end, that's what's going to bring you closer with God. And that's the reason why it's going to give you fulfillment and achievement and joy and peace and all the things you truly desire in your heart. If you remove all the things that you've been kind of programmed and conditioned to desire since you grew up from your childhood, from the ideas you got from social media and your peers and your school and all this nonsense, if you like strip back all the layers of purposes from your life, of I need to look this way, I need to dress this way, I need to own this car, I need to have this much money, I need to be this tall. If you strip away all of these layers of false purposes and you go down to your core, you want love, you want peace, you want achievement, you want meaning. And the only way to get that is with God. The only way to God is to carry your cross. That means fighting the war. So don't enter the battlefield of every day with the mindset of giving up tomorrow, but enter the battlefield with the mindset of making the enemy quit tomorrow. For it is written, resist the enemy, and he will surely flee. I hope this blessed you. If you made it this far, bro, like listening to me yap for this long, first of all, congratulations, bro. You actually have a superior concentration span, especially in this kind of age that we live in. I can't even be saying much, bro. I have a lot of meditation and prayer to do to like train my focus again, because I spend too much time in my life doom scrolling. God bless you, and resist the enemy, especially when it's hard. Amen.